Alright, Shalom. This is Brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rachah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and most blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and this truth and sincerity. And I just want to do a quick video, just kind of going into the mindset of the people that are ruling, these so-called governments, these different nations. Come on, guy. So lucky. Just bear with me as I do this in transit. But the thoughts, of these people is that as the scriptures talk about, primarily about Esau, Edom, but Esau, we know, has pushed his spirit out onto the world. As the scriptures, say, the earth is given onto the hands of the wicked. He's pushed out his agenda, his image out into the world. And now you have these other nations that are now saying they are strong because they're following in the same footsteps as these Edomites. All right. They have weapons of war, weapons of mass destruction. The nations also have, somewhat of built economies, nothing as comparable to Babylon, but Babylon the Great itself, aka America, it started from somewhere as well. So the Lord is putting it in the thoughts of all the kings of this earth, all right, the rulers of this earth, to have wicked thoughts, all right, to have these thoughts that their houses are going to be continual, just as Esau has that same mindset, as far as ruling forever. And these nations think that they are going to be able to rule and have their time, but as we know in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 5, chapter 6, verse 8, it says, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." And we know that Esau, Edom, would be ruling in these last days. Okay? If not, who and where is he? All right? So it says, but, Jacob held first the heel of Esau, symbolizing that we would be the ones to bring this devil down. All right, starting with Yahawashi, down onto the elect, the Lord is going to enact the judgment written, okay, upon Esau through his people Israel. All right. And we're going to be the ones to have this rulership next. But prior to us getting to that, we're going to have what's going to be known as World War III, or a destruction, the third woe, written about in the book of Revelation. All right. I believe that's the 11th chapter. And, and other places, I think is also mentioned briefly in chapter 9 or chapter 10. Okay. The third woe coming quickly, man. And this is what we're seeing is the thoughts that these leaders are having is an evil thought. This is why you have these nations contemplating nuclear war. All right, contemplating shooting, and destroying one another. All right, because the Lord is putting these thoughts in the minds of these leaders, just as the Lord saw back in the ancient world when he flooded the earth. All right, that the thoughts of men was wicked. All right, so let's read that real quick. Let's go. Well, actually, let me finish this in 2nd Ezra 6. It says, verse 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." So there's not going to be other nations that are going to be ruling. Although they're thinking that. You have, the BRICS nations, and their allies, they believe that they're going to be the ones to rule next, because as it's being seen around the world, the West is crumbling, primarily America, which is out of the West. But we know that this Western empire is really known as the beast, all right, written of in the scriptures, which the reaches of the beast go into all the nations of the earth, man. All right, we know it to be the empire of the Edomites, and the empire of the Edomites has a hand in everybody's backyard. Okay, orchestrating everything from the background. Okay, but nonetheless, none of these other nations are going to have the dominion coming forward. Okay, it's going to be an everlasting kingdom, as is spoken of in Daniel's, I believe that's chapter 8. All right, going on down to like around the 40th verse, around there, 45. Okay, the Lord is going to have us ruling. Again, first starting with Yahushua, who's going to be the cornerstone that's going to be laid to finish this all, and to let this begin, the kingdom of heaven on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, Yahushua is going to be that man to do that, to usher in this new era, this new eon. Okay, that's going to be known as the kingdom of heaven on earth. All right, which right now we're in the kingdom of the Edomites. All right, we're in his heaven, and you Israelites are in hell, and the other nations have finally awoken, all right, through prophecy, all right, of that man being revealed, have realized that this is their hell as well. They were just given better opportunities than the Israelites did, okay, upon the earth. But now the Lord is putting it in the minds of these people to bring about a destruction that has been written from thousands of years ago, as the Lord and the Scripture says. All right, let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Well, let's get it first in Isaiah 46. This is Isaiah 46, and I'll read verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Lord, I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. You see, because why? In verse 10, it tells you why. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So all the words of the Heavenly Father are going to be fulfilled, man. There is no other power on this planet, or anywhere for that matter, that has declared the end from the beginning, man. So all these things have been written. It's been written for these nations to get on to a certain level to where they're ready and willing, although they're scared to a certain extent, they're ready and willing to go at war with what's known as America, which in the scriptures is known as Babylon the Great. It's also known as the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Okay, the land of the captivity of the Israelites. Okay, but the Lord has declared that this place would be destroyed. Okay, this is what we're seeing here being set up on the earth, man. All right, the Lord has been setting up through the other nations, gearing up for war. All right, the inevitable downfall of the beast and the whore that rideth upon it. Let me get this real quick, because again, this is the Lord that's doing these things, man. All right, so like, you bear with me. Again, I'm trying to do this in transit here. All right, get this real quick in Isaiah, because ultimately we know that the way that America will be destroyed, that the Lord is preparing this place to go, is through nuclear destruction. And we see that these nations, primarily the ones involved in conflict right now, pretty much all have nuclear missiles. Whether it's Iran, Israel, Russia, China, America, India, Pakistan, you name it, Turkey. These nations have nukes. So the Lord created the smith to blow upon the coals to create these weapons, man. Okay, those smiths being those old scientists from back in the day that helped create these missiles, this weapon for the Lord's indignation. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 13, and I'll start at verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Okay, and this is what the Lord has done through his prophets by sending them out, by setting up that standard, coming out here and proclaiming the day of the Lord, man. Okay, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Right, man. And the Lord is preparing again, not only these militaries, but also their military capabilities. Okay. It says the noise of a multitude, or Salakia. Yeah, that was verse 3. So verse 4 says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, mustereth the host of the battle. So the Lord is preparing not only these nations, but the Lord is also preparing their missiles, man. That's the host that we're speaking of right there. All right. Let's go from there real quick, because I just want to make this quick. Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, I will also, you see, I will also, this is the Lord speaking. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is out there in the Middle East. Jehoshaphat and the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh being the name of the Lord, and Shaphat meaning judgment or judge, to judge. So the Lord, that valley of judgment, of the Lord's judgment, is going to take place over there as what's known as today as the Middle East. Okay. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. So all these other nations, the so-called East Indians, the so-called Chinese, the so-called Japanese, the so-called Arab nations, all right, the so-called Western European nations, okay, all these nations have partaken in the captivity of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And so the Lord is now gathering them over there in the Middle East to all be what? Judged. Because when you go into the word there, plead, because it said, I will plead with them there for my people. That word there for plead in the Hebrew is shapat, which once again, that means to judge. So the Lord is going to judge these nations there, and what the scriptures here is calling the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is now known as today is the Middle East. So this is what we see taking place, and this is what the Lord is putting in the thoughts of these people, to have this this idea in their mindset that they now have that ability, they have that power to make themselves ready for this, that they can actually do this. Okay, let's skip on down to verse 9, Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And the Lord again is preparing these nations, man. These nations are on high alerts. They're making moves as we speak. Right now there's all this talk of Iran, whether they're going to do something or not, that it's imminent. Okay, that there's going to be some type of an attack, whether it's on Israeli assets or American assets, but they're going to do something. And all this is nothing but wars and rumors of wars, man, which the Lord Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus, all right, he said would be taking place before he returns, man. So we see these things taking place, and in a rapid fashion, man. These things aren't being prolonged, they're not being delayed. The Lord is now moving very swiftly upon the earth with these things that are taking place, man. All right, things are snowballing, out of control for the people of the earth, man. And it's moving quicker than Esau expected things to move, which is why in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12 it says that he cometh down upon you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, man. Esau Edom is the devil, and he's coming down upon the citizens of this entire planet, not just America, but this entire planet, because he knows that what's getting ready to happen is going to be the downfall of him, man. And so he has to get ready to establish his new world order, his image upon the earth in the midst of all this chaos that's ensuing. But it's going to be too much for him to handle, and he's going to be destroyed. And what he's also not considering is the Lord is returning. That's another caveat that Esau is trying to remove from the equation. But you have to enter in the Lord, because he will return, man. Whether you like it or not, he's on his way. Behold, I come quickly, he said. Okay? So that's just something that was on my mind, that I wanted to just get out there real quick, is hey, man, the Lord is putting these thoughts in the minds of these leaders, man. And, when we read Ezekiel chapter 38, ultimately the Lord is going to put that thought in the minds of the Magog, or Gog and Magog, to turn back into their old ways, man, which is the Russian nation, man. And they're going to turn, man, them and all their bands, man, all those armies that are up underneath Russia, man, they're all preparing themselves to go to battle, man. Okay? So, Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, of great millstone, and most blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out his truth and his truth and sincerity. With that I say, Shalom.